teacher for 9 years, but I've been living and working here in Kiev for 2 years now, almost 2 years. Okay. Have any of you been to any of my seminars in Kiev or Zhytomyr? Maybe you can let me know in the chat box. Yes, okay, great. Anna? Not yet, so maybe in the future. Okay, good. Fantastic. So I'm glad some of you are here again. Okay. Yeah, can you let me know if you can hear me okay? Is the sound okay? Yeah? Okay. Fantastic. Okay, lots of people here. Good. So just to let you know as well that at the end of today's webinar, okay, we will be sending out certificates. Yeah, we know how valuable your time is, so we really appreciate you coming and joining me here today. So you should get those within a week. Also, some good news is that at the end of the webinar, there will be the lottery. So there will be 20 books up for grabs. So 20 of you will be lucky enough to get a copy of Gold Experience. Great. So we'll just wait for a few more to join us. What has everyone been doing today? Have you been teaching online this morning? Okay, yeah, lots of teaching online. I know it's new for a lot of people, but we're all in this together. Yeah, we're all adapting, aren't we? So watching, yeah, maybe some of you watched Yulia's fantastic webinar this morning. Okay. Good. From Kherson, great. Okay. Fantastic. So we have people joining us from all over Ukraine. It's great to see. From Kiev as well. I'm here, Obolon kind of district at the moment. Again, like I said, it's very grey outside, but I think it's a good thing at the moment. Somebody else from Vinnytsia, yeah, one of my favorite cities. Okay, good. Fantastic. It's nice to have some interaction with everyone. Good. Someone else from Vinnytsia as well. Great. Okay. Hello from Bakhmut. Okay, good. More from Odessa as well. Chernihiv. Okay, fantastic. I was there last year as well. Good. So, and if you can let me know if I've met any of you before, it would be great if you could say hello in the chat box. Okay, great. From Kharkiv as well. Hello. Okay. So my moderator today is Yulia. If there are any issues with sound or video, she will be able to help us with that. Okay. Superman, Harlow, great. So lots of chat messages. It's great to hear from you all. So it's very lonely here in my apartment here in Kiev, so it's great to have this interaction. Thank you. From Zhytomyr, great. I was there about just over a year ago as well. Okay, hello, hello. Okay, good. So Natalia, hello again. Lviv as well. Okay, fantastic. So we'll just wait a couple more minutes and then we'll begin. Just to let you know that the material, the videos that I will be using for today's webinar are all from Gold Experience. Are any of you using this book at the moment? Yeah? No? Okay. So I know those of you that are using it, I'm sure you know this is a fantastic title. Okay, the way it combines general English and exam English, it's great. So it's very popular with my students. Great, some of you thinking about trying it. Yeah, I suggest you do. Okay. Yeah, so Yulia can send you a link to our shop if you're interested in the title. So it's almost time to begin. Great, so more from Odessa. Okay, it's good to see you here. From Kiev as well. So, thank you again to everyone for joining me here today. It's great to see so many of you here. Okay, as I said earlier, I might be new to some of you, so I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Sam. I'm a methodologist with internal education and also an English language teacher at the London School of English. So I've been a teacher for 9 years, but I've been living and working here in Kiev for 2 years. Okay. Before moving to Kiev, I was in Budapest for about 7 years, so teaching English there. Okay, another reminder that at the end of today's webinar, we will be sending out certificates for all of you that have attended. We know how valuable your time is, so we really do appreciate you joining us here. Okay, again, the video material that I'm using for today's webinar is from Gold Experience. We will be talking more about that later. Also, please stick around to the end because there will be a lottery. So 20 of you will get one of these Gold Experience titles. Okay, so if you stick around to the end, you have the possibility to win. Okay, very exciting. Okay, so as you know, today we'll be looking at building speaking exam confidence through video-based activities. So I'd like to start the webinar with a question for you. So, what receptive skill do students develop by watching videos in English? Can you write your answer in the chat box? Okay, fantastic. I've seen the correct answer straight away. So everyone is on the ball today. Yeah, listening. So we know that videos are a great way to add an extra dimension to listening practice with our students. But how can we use videos to develop our students' speaking skills, particularly the speaking skills that they will need to pass many different international exams? Well, in today's webinar, we will be looking at a number of practical video-based activities that we can use to develop our students' speaking skills to help them pass these different speaking tasks in the exams. Okay? So, video-based activities are a great way to kickstart any lesson, to immediately engage our students and get their attention. So I would like to kickstart this webinar with a video-based activity called silent viewing. So this is one of my favorite activities, okay? We're gonna do it together. So I would like you to watch the video, but there's no sound, and answer the questions. How old do you think the boy is? What country do you think he lives in? And what is he planning to do? Okay, so watch the video, save your answers for after the video. Okay, so are you ready? Okay. Okay, so I want to hear some of your answers now. So what do you think? How old do you think he is? 16, 17. Okay. And why? Why do we think that? Is it because of his school uniform? Yeah. Okay. So we said 16, 17. Okay. And what country do you think he lives in? So Europe, UK. Okay. Question 3. And what is he planning to do? What do you think? Okay, so we've got to go sailing, go traveling, maybe a voyage. Okay. So now we're going to watch the video again, but this time with sound. So you can check your answers. Okay, are you ready? So we'll watch it again, but with sound this time.
Mike is an ordinary 16-year-old boy, hanging out with his friends, getting ready for exams, and daydreaming.
I'm trying to do revision, trying to. I spend half my time daydreaming. That's what my attention span's like.
And what are you daydreaming about?
You know, how amazing would it be to sail around the world? You know, what an incredible journey that would be.
Okay, so let's check. Were we correct? So how old is the boy? 16, very good. Okay, question 2. What country does he live in? It's a bit trickier. Correct, yes, it was the UK. Maybe you could hear from his accent. So he had an English accent, like me. Okay, and finally, this important question. What is he planning to do? Okay, so what is he planning to do? Travel, yeah? Very good. So yeah, he's planning to sail around the world. Okay, so some of you got that correct. Okay, so if we think about the activity now, what skills do the students develop by watching the video without sound and making guesses about its content? Fantastic. So I can see critical thinking, yes, good. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, we've got prediction skills and speculation skills. This is this guessing ability. Okay. Another question. What kind of speaking exam task does this prepare your students for? Can you write the number in the chat box? So what do you think? Very good. So we've got discussions, role plays, or describing pictures. Yes, so a lot of you are correct. It is describing pictures. So my students love this activity. I love this activity because it's a really good way of developing my students' critical thinking skills. Okay, it's important to remember that in this task, in the speaking exams, they have to do more than just describe the pictures. They need to look in more depth. They need to speculate about different aspects of the picture. This activity helps them develop the skills they need to do that. So we speculated on his age, his nationality, and his future plans. What other aspects of the characters could the students speculate on? So what other things could they guess about? Any ideas? Fantastic. So his job, his future career, interesting, yeah? Excellent. So lots of good ideas there. His personality, yeah? So these were my ideas. Yeah, so his personality, job, hobbies, the relationship with other characters, yeah? We can also get the students to speculate on what the characters are saying to each other, yeah? So as with any task, we can adapt it, okay? So you know what your students enjoy, okay? So we can adapt it accordingly. So for example, my students love team games. So I usually organize this as a team game. I put them in groups and they need to discuss their answers and try and decide on one answer. I then give them points for whose answer was closest to reality. Also, we can give the students some functional language. So for example, phrases for speculating. It looks as though he's, I get the impression that, okay? We're going to talk more about this later. Also, it's important to remember that with videos, you have the option to pause it at any moment and speculate, get the students to speculate about the image on the screen. With a book, we're limited to maybe 5 or 6 pictures on one page. But with a video, we can pause it at any moment and get the students to speculate or predict, yeah, about what's happening and what's on the screen. So, how else can we develop our students' prediction and speculation skills? Particularly their prediction skills with this one. Well, we can use an activity that I love, and again, my students love this one. This is called What Happens Next. So I'm sure some of you are familiar with this activity. Okay, we will finish the story about Mike now. So I'd like you to watch the video and answer the question. What disaster happens next? So try and predict what disaster happens next. So save your answers for after the video. Okay, so let's watch the video together.
As the weeks pass, Mike manages the boat well. He navigates thousands of kilometers successfully through the ocean.
Wow.
It's getting much colder. So I put the soup out.
In the Pacific Ocean, disaster strikes.
Okay, so disaster strikes. Okay, so what do we think? If we look at the options, I want you to choose one. So type 1 if you think there's a hurricane. Okay. 2 if you think there's a technical problem with the boat. Or 3 if you think Mike's girlfriend is going to break up with him over Skype. So what do we think? Got lots of 1s and 2s, maybe 3. Yeah, some of you are worried about Mike's love life. Okay. Well, let's watch and see what happens next. Okay.
A rope gets tangled in the rudders, and Mike has no way to steer the boat.
It had cut off my steering and I couldn't use the rudders.
Mike has to deal with the problem on his own.
Okay. So were we correct? So what happened next? Which was the correct answer? Yes. Very good. So number 2, there was a technical problem with the boat. So a rope had got tangled around the rudder. That's for steering the boat. Fantastic. Let's try one more. Okay, so this time, it's an important question. Do you think Mike is going to complete his journey? So, save your answers for after the video.
Mike has to fight to keep going.
Really felt down in the dumps. Really felt down in the dumps. It is hard, and that's why not many people do it. But I will do it. I will get around.
Okay, so what do we think? Do we think Mike is going to complete his journey? Okay, we've got lots of yeses, lots of optimists, that's good. A few pessimists or realists, possibly. Okay, so I'm guessing you're on the edge of your seat now, waiting to find out if Mike completes his journey. So let's watch and find out what happens next.
Mike returns a hero. He takes the world record for the youngest person to circumnavigate the world. After such an achievement, can he ever be an ordinary schoolboy again?
Very good. So, I think most of you were correct. Yeah, all the optimists were correct. So he did complete the journey. Okay, so it had a happy ending. Yeah, happy ending for Mike. Okay. So now, one moment. So I love this activity. My students, my primary, secondary, and adult students all really enjoy this activity. They're always on the edge of their seats, like they can't wait to find out what happens next. So I love it as well because it's really easy to prepare. All I need to do before the lesson is to watch the video and to decide where I want to pause it, okay? And then decide what question I will ask, okay? But the question, what happens next, is often enough. Okay, it's always important to remember with both of these tasks, so with what happens next and silent viewing, we need to remind our students to give reasons for their answers. If they don't do that in the exam, then they won't do very well. Yeah, so we always need to remind the students to be saying why. Okay, again, as with any activity, we can adapt it. I told you earlier, my students love team games. This is another great one to adapt into a team game. Put the students in groups. Whichever's group's prediction is closest to reality gets a point. Okay? So, for both of these activities, I could have used a picture. Yeah, I could have used a few pictures. So why was it better to use a video? Well, by using a video, we encourage our students to look in more depth. Okay? We're really encouraging them to develop these critical thinking skills. These critical thinking skills will enable them to make much more advanced observations in the exam. That's how they will get these kind of higher scores, higher points in their speaking exams. So how many of you use video-based activities? Yeah, so I can see quite a few of you. Yeah. So why should we use video-based activities in our lessons? Well, particularly with exam preparation classes, it's a great way to freshen things up. Often they're very book orientated, so this is a good way to add a bit of variety to things. Yeah, it only needs to be a 30-second video or a 1-minute video just to add a bit of variety. Also, it's an engaging stepping stone to communicative activities. It provides us with a realistic and authentic context for any discussions or role plays. Also, we all know that teenagers love technology and they love videos. So if we use more of this in our lessons, it's immediately more engaging for them, okay? I know all my students are always talking about TikTok, okay? Asking me if I'm on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok. But this is maybe another way we could adapt the activities. Get the students to make their own videos for each other. And they have to guess what happens or guess what is happening in the video without sound. Okay, and as I mentioned earlier, yeah, this is a great way to really engage our students' critical thinking skills more deeply. So another activity we need to prepare our students for is monologues. So can you tell me, which exam features a monologue task? Is it A, IELTS, B, the Pearson Test of English, C, FCE and CAE, or D, all of the above? Very good. Yeah, I didn't manage to trick you. D, all of the above. So all of these exams contain a monologue task. So it's vital that we make sure that our students are well prepared for this. But there's a common problem we often have when preparing our students for monologues. I know that I used to have this problem with my students. That is, even students with strong language abilities sometimes can't think of enough to say on a particular topic. Okay, so how can we solve this problem with video-based activities? Well, by watching a video on a particular topic before monologue preparation, we engage the students with a particular topic, help them generate more ideas. Another issue with monologue preparation is that it's not very communicative. Yeah, it doesn't involve much interaction. Well, there's one way we can get around this, and that's with a monologue preparation activity I like called Longer and Longer. So this is collaborative monologue preparation. Okay? So, I'm going to explain how we do this activity. So first, we watch a video. We take a topic from the video. So for example, the video with Mike, I take the topic of travel. I then think of the discussion question. I put the students in pairs, okay? And I ask them to answer this discussion question. So the first student answers the discussion question. Okay. Then the second student has the opportunity to answer the same question, but they must speak for longer than their partner. Okay, so they must speak for longer than their partner. Maybe you've noticed that the second student has borrowed some of the language from the first student. That's fantastic. Okay, there's no problem with that. We want to encourage our students to learn from each other. Yeah, so together they can generate the best possible answer. Okay, then the first student has the opportunity to answer the same question again. But this time, they need to speak for longer. Okay, so the students continue to try and speak for longer and longer than their partner. Okay, this continues until they're not able to speak for longer or one of the students gives up. We then ask the students to report back to the class, maybe talk about some of the key points in their answer. Okay, so it's just a way to make monologue preparation a bit more communicative. So we've discussed using this activity as a post-viewing activity. Okay, so after watching the video. But you can also do this before watching a video to generate interest in a particular topic. Okay, so it's up to you. So another task we need to prepare our students for is role plays. Okay, so which exams feature role play tasks? Okay, maybe you can let me know in the chat. Does anyone know? Fantastic. So, got a lot of very, very smart attendees today. Great. So it is the PTE and also the FCE and CAE. They have a decision-making task. Okay, so it's similar to a role play where the students are given a particular situation. Videos are a great way to enrich our preparation, okay, for role plays. One way we can do that is with a character role play activity. So I'm going to take you through some of the stages of developing your own character role play. So, first, you, the teacher, need to watch the video and invent a situation featuring the characters from it. For example, maybe the video we watched with Mike. When I do role plays with my students from this video, the characters are Mike and Mike's mum. So Mike's mum wasn't in the video. So this is an imagined character connected to a situation in the video. So they can be real or imagined characters. Then we put the students in pairs. We would assign each student one of the characters. So maybe half the class are Mike's and half the class are Mike's mum. Okay? Then we would give the students a comprehension question about their character. They would need to watch the video and make notes about their character. So, for example, a question for the students who are Mike might be, why is it a good idea for teenagers to sail around the world? Maybe a question for the students who are Mike's mum would be, why is it a bad idea for teenagers to go sailing around the world? They then watch the video and make notes about their question. So, we then let them role play a situation. So using their notes to help them. Okay, so we need to think of a situation. For example, with my students and this video with Mike, I tell my students that they need to persuade each other of something. So Mike needs to persuade his mum to let him sail around the world. And the mums need to persuade Mike not to sail around the world. It's important with any role play task that we give our students that both students have a clear goal, okay? Something that they are trying to achieve. After they've role played the task, we would get them to report back to everyone. So, how well did it go? Did they manage to persuade their partner? Okay. And then we can get them to switch roles and try again. So, like I said, it doesn't require that much preparation. You just need to watch the video, use your imagination a bit, before the lesson. So, an important question now. When would you give the students functional language input? So, for example, phrases for giving and reacting to opinions. So, can you tell me in the chat box, at which stage would you give students this input? Okay, so we're saying before the video. You can write a number. You could say after 3 or after 1. Okay, so 4. Okay, so we've got a variety of answers there. People are saying 3 or 4. That's actually quite close to my answer. Personally, I believe that the best stage to give your students functional language input is after they have done the task once and before they repeat the activity. The first time that the students do the task, maybe they find it difficult, okay? And they realize that they have gaps in their knowledge, okay? We can then fill these gaps with this functional language. So the students realize they have a need, and then we can fill this need. It means that it's much more likely that the students will actually learn and will actually remember the input we give them. So how can we give the students this functional language? Well, we know that one way is by writing it on the board or by asking them to read it in the book. That's fine, yeah? But one way I like to use is with functional language checklists, okay? So we give the students a checklist, okay? Or we use the functional language section in a book. For example, Gold Experience has some great functional language section. They need to listen to their partner and tick the phrases they use. So there are a lot more, they are actively trying to use this language, okay? We can make it a bit more competitive by saying the student that ticks off the most is the winner. Another way is with cards. So we can have the functional language on cards. When the student has used the phrase, they can put it down. Alternatively, we have all the phrases on the table, and after the student has used one of the phrases, they can pick it up. And again, the student that has picked up the most is the winner. So by doing this, again, it's just more engaging. The students are actively trying to use the functional language. So, how many of you use role plays with your students? Okay, so a lot of you use role plays. Okay, so I know that my primary students love it. They go crazy for role plays. My adult students usually find it quite good fun after a while. The teenagers, usually they take a couple of minutes to kind of warm up. Yeah, you know, they're too cool for it sometimes at the beginning, but in the end, they end up enjoying it just as much as the primary students. So it's good to kind of persevere and to try and get them to do this. So also with my students, they love this activity. They love these character role plays because they enjoy role playing as a real person. It adds a level of authenticity to the activity, which makes it a lot more engaging. So, unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. So I hope that you've learned a lot of practical video-based activities that you can use with your students. Thank you again for joining me. I'm going to check the chat box now, see if you have any questions for me. Okay, so any questions? Thank you, you're welcome. Thank you, everyone, you're welcome. So no questions. Well, I just want to tell you a bit more about Gold Experience. So, as I said at the beginning, the reason I chose this book is because of the way it combines general English and exam preparation. Also, unlike a lot of courses, there are 8 levels. The videos that we were using today about Mike, they are from B2+. So this is like a pre-advanced level. So if you've got strong students or just one strong student and you really want to push them, this is the perfect book for that. Okay, so now is the moment that you've all been waiting for. We have the lottery. Okay, so my moderator will be helping me with this now, Yulia. Okay, so we have all your emails, and using random.org, we can randomly select 20 of you. Okay, so we'll just take a bit of time. Again, if you've got any questions to ask me, any questions about me, you're welcome to ask. So some of you saying you'll try silent viewing, good. I'm glad you enjoyed the webinar, thank you. Okay, so if we look on the screen, okay, so we have our 20 winners. If you were 21, I'm sorry. So our 20 winners, you can see there. My colleague will also copy these into the chat, so you can check if you're the winner. Okay, so congratulations to the 20 of you. Okay, if you weren't successful this time, well, maybe next time. Okay. Again, a reminder that you will be receiving a certificate for attending. As I said earlier, we really appreciate you taking the time to join us. I know how busy you must be at the moment. But here at Internal, we really enjoy and appreciate that you come and join us for these webinars. It's been great to have some interaction with all of you. I know we're all in the same boat at the moment. We're all stuck at home. So it's nice to have this interaction. And I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope you've learned a lot from it as well. So again, if you're interested in the book, Gold Experience, like I said, it's a great book. My colleague Yulia has posted a link there. Also, you have the link to our website. I'd love to know how it goes if you use any of these activities with your students. Please write to us on Facebook or Instagram. It would be great to get some feedback from you. Okay. Great. So, do I understand Ukrainian? It's a good question. Tak. I am learning Ukrainian at the moment. My wife's family all speak Ukrainian over there in Vinnytsia. So yeah, I need to learn. So I'm learning. It was my wedding last year in Vinnytsia, and I did actually give part of my wedding speech in Ukrainian, but please don't ask me to repeat any of that. It's I don't remember a lot of that. Okay, so goodbye, do побачення. Yeah, some Ukrainian. Thank you again, and I hope to see you all again soon. Okay, so thank you. Okay, goodbye. Goodbye, you're welcome. Okay, thank you everyone. Bye. Yeah, please everyone stay safe, stay healthy as well. Okay, yeah, have a nice evening, you too. Okay. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. Okay. So, thank you. Okay, so goodbye.